Welcome to the In the AIR We Weeb podcast, also known as Anime in Review. We are
Shawna,
Matthew,
Tim,
and Az.
hooray!
and together
Yay.
we make...
Anime in Review!
That's right!
This is horrible.
Yeah,
Where
no, it's
is
terrible.
the map?
It's
So,
fine.
I
People
hear
will get
y'all-
used to us.
I hear y'all
No,
like
they won't.
anime.
Yeah. And we
Dog, I heard you
actually
like anime.
all met on the internet, on Twitch, and now we're doing this and we're gonna review some anime.
Yeah. Anime, heck yeah.
What show are we talking about today, Az?
Oh, well, as you can see, we're talking about My Hero Academia, also known as Boku no Hero Academia,
How would they see that? This is a podcast.
because it'll be the episode title. The episode title will be Episode 1, My Hero Academia.
Sweet, got it. I thought I forgot how podcasts worked for a minute. I was like, oh wait.
Cool, so yeah, we're talking about My Hero Academia. Who would like to read the description? Shauna?
I'll do it. All right, here we go. Fresh from Google. In a world where people with superpowers, known as quirks, are the norm, Izuku Midoriya has a dream of one day becoming a hero, despite being bullied by his classmates for not having a quirk. This story follows Izuku's entrance into the UA. It's very exciting.
Also, I just want to say, Izuku, I'm going to refer to as Deku.
Yeah, it's easier.
Everyone
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, it's pretty
Okay.
interchangeable.
Just for the audience, Izuku is Deku.
Our main
What's up,
character.
audience? None of us speak Japanese, so we're gonna mispronounce literally everyone's name.
Yep.
So don't add us. Do add us. Whatever makes you feel better.
You should add us. Cyberbully? Cyberbully us to no end, please.
Send your complaints to
Me.
fieldSquared at nanoland.ca.
That's not a real address. Don't send it there.
Or do, see what happens.
So it's important that we mention that the spoiler section is going to come later, but to anyone sensitive to any spoilers at all about the show, you should just listen to this after you watch the show, because we are going to be talking about things like our overall opinion and structure and writing and characters and all of that. And then when we get into the spoiler stuff, we'll be talking about our opinions on specific things in the show. So if you are a sensitive Sally, please watch the show first. Everyone, starting with Matt, whose nickname is Weeb. I don't know why your nickname is Weeb, because you're not more of a weeb than any of us, in my humble opinion.
No, you're totally right. It was because when we all met up for the pizza party, I was wearing a Hinata shirt, and we streamed it, and you're like, oh, he's a weeb, and you just started calling me weeb in the Twitch.
Oh, it's my fault.
It is your fault. Just like everything else.
Oh, no. All right, Weeb, what do you think about, what's your overall opinion about My Hero Academia?
It was awful. Honestly, I hated every second of it.
Listen.
No, it was great. It reminded me a lot of, like, Naruto, which is my favorite. Very, like, basic shonen, but in the best way.
Yeah, I agree. I like a good shonen, and this is a good shonen because they take the time in characterization to make you care about Deku, the main character, and to make you care about basically everyone else. And before they throw you into like a fight, they actually make you care about everyone. So I think it does a really good job with the writing and the characters and the structure in general. I really like that. In regards to like season 1, I thought it was really cool that I think it's about 3 episodes of him basically getting up to the point of getting his quirk, which was nice, because they could have shoved all that in one episode and it would have been way too fast. But it was like 3 episodes of that, and then it was a bunch of episodes of the entrance exam, and then it was like a bunch of episodes of, I think the end was the... No, I don't know. Maybe that's spoilers. Maybe I shouldn't even talk about that yet.
Yeah, don't talk about that.
Don't talk about that. But I liked the structure overall. Like, I liked that it was like 3 or 4 kind of arcs. it was very satisfying from a writing perspective.
Yeah, and as for me, I thought it was, like you guys said, a pretty good shonen. Like Naruto, there's like some good fights, but I thought the characterization, like you guys said, was really good. Deku, he's probably one of my favorite anime characters now, ever since I started, because I'm pretty new to anime, unlike you guys. So this was actually one of the first animes I watched, and it's like it raised the bar for me, basically, because it's like, oh, this is a standard. All anime is going to be like this. And when you find out pretty quickly that that's
False.
not the case.
Yeah, he's a great character. I think one main thing that anime does really well is it takes a character and it makes them like the never give up, always push forward, kind of like stay positive character. And I felt like he is that, but he's like that in reality. Like he's dealing with reality as he keeps moving forward. So I thought that was really cool in general. That's what kind of stood apart for me, because there's a lot of anime characters, main characters, that kind of like plow ahead and they just never give up. But he was kind of faced with reality immediately, and I really liked that a lot.
Instead of being the loud, I'm gonna do it because I can, he's like the thinker.
Yeah, or in contrast.
I always thought of Deku as like a literal puppy dog. Like Deku acts just like a puppy, I think.
Even with all the crying.
I was wondering what his Enneagram was.
Oh no.
Oh no. Here we go.
I told you, need to do an Enneagram section.
Yeah, I think Deku might be a 4, honestly, because he is super emotional.
Yeah.
I don't know what any of that
That's
means.
a different podcast. Would everyone recommend it? Would you recommend this to someone?
Oh yeah, totally. I've been basically reading the manga since chapter 1, so yeah, this is my stuff. This is my jam.
I think it's a very good starter anime. So like if you've never watched anime before and you're a little bit nervous to hop into it, this is a great representation, I think, of like kind of what a shonen is. Yeah,
me too. I agree with that 100%. Like I think it's a really great starter anime for anyone who doesn't get shonen. Or hasn't experienced shonen, because it's not like immediately screaming, immediately crazy fights. It's like, no, it's just a good story, and it's in the shonen package, and it's just really good throughout, I think.
Yeah, and it's like, I think the perfect length too to like get into and like really build a connection with the characters, but also it's not, a One Piece or a Naruto where it's like 1,000 episodes long.
Yeah, season 1's super accessible. It's like 13 episodes, so and it's broken down into really watchable, sort of bingeable arcs, like I mentioned before. I think that pretty much gets us into the spoiler section. So if you are wanting to watch the show and haven't yet, do not listen to the rest, because this is where we're going to talk about things that actually happen. And I'm going to start with asking Tim, what do you think is the best or your favorite part of the show?
I think it's probably seeing Midoriya like overcome his like introduction to the school once he gets accepted. Because he goes from having no quirk at all to suddenly getting like the most powerful quirk of all time, like in an instant, and he has to figure out how he's going to control it. And I thought that was just really interesting how they did that, using the training arc, I guess you could call it, with the other high schoolers.
I also really liked that, like, nothing's ever, like, particularly easy, and it really shows what he's made of, because he's getting so hurt every time he uses his quirk. He's, like, breaking his arms.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, how freaky would it be to be him and be like, oh yeah, I'm about to get into a fight. Like, knowing that you're going to get into a fight and knowing that you're going to break all your limbs.
Like, shatter your body.
Yeah, like, how just mentally, like...
It's crazy.
That would freak you out, just being like, oh yeah, in like a few minutes, I'm going to break every limb on my whole body.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It is crazy. It makes him really likable, though, I think, because he's suffering for what he wants, and he's not a complainer, which is cool. But, like...
He's a bit of a crybaby.
He does cry, but
But
he doesn't... It's not
Grows
so
out
much
of
of...
He cries
Yeah.
when he's happy. He's just... He doesn't cry because he's, like, a little baby. He's, like, just happy. He's always excited.
I think he just feels things so deeply, because, like, you know that scene where he's, like, little Deku, he's, like, so tiny, and his mom is telling him that he can't be a hero, and he's sitting, like, on the computer chair, and he's just, like, weeping. Like, he's, like, 4, and he's just, like, weeping, and you can just see how completely broken he is, because, like, all he wanted in life is being taken away from him. And it's just like, ugh. Like,
Fashion, that makes me cry.
it's so awful. Like, I think that's a great way to introduce the character and make us care about him, is to just show, like, how immediately broken he was, like, by this society and by his limitations. That actually brings up one thing that I wanted to ask you guys about. In the show, they say that 80% of people don't have quirks, but I felt like, or 80% of people have quirks, 20% don't. But I felt like that wasn't really represented super well. It felt more like 1% don't, because it, like, he seemed like such an anomaly in how it was presented, and, like, everyone in his class had quirks but him.
Yeah.
Well, also...
I think it's also the generation, right?
Yeah,
right,
but
yeah,
I
because
think
their
it
generation... Yeah, that makes sense.
I think it was just, you know, a way to write it to make you feel like Deku's the only one. And also, he was going to UA, which is like a hero school. Mm-hmm. And he was the only one at UA that didn't have a quirk, I think. He was the only person to get in without a quirk.
Yeah,
But
that's
he
right.
had...
Well, you can't get into the hero course for that one, I think.
But he did have his quirk. He had his quirk when he went into the entrance exam. So he applied when he didn't.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're right.
So he did get in. That brings up a little thing that I'm super annoyed about. I feel like, you know, Mineta, Grape Head?
Boy. Yeah, great. As he's
Stupid
nicknamed in the
boy.
community, great.
Stupid Grapehead. I can't believe Stupid Grapehead got into the hero course in Class A. How?
Okay, guys, come on. His quirk. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm not a big fan, but his quirk is about capturing things, which are highly sought after in this line of work.
I have nothing against his quirk. I just feel like he's a complainer and a crybaby, and he seems like his motivation isn't there. And I just don't understand how he got through the entrance exam.
Okay, let me ask you this. If you are, like, stuck in a burning building and the only person around to save you is Mineta, so you can either die or get saved by Mineta, what do you pick? What do you choose?
Death.
Okay.
I think I might have to burn if it's him.
Exactly. It's like, it'd be so
It's kind of
embarrassing.
horrible.
I mean, you would rather
Yeah.
die. You'd rather burn to death.
No, I would go, but like I would not. I would be like punching.
Probably
him
have
if-
to save Mineta.
Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly.
It's if he took advantage of me, it would not end well for him. Let me just say that.
Just say,
I don't like
his
this
head won't be the only thing he's eating.
I'm uncomfortable. Change the subject.
Let's
No.
please change it.
That's actually a good segue into that whole thing. Is we were actually discussing this in text before when we weren't supposed to be discussing anything, but I was so annoyed that the female characters in this show are really well presented in the sense that they're very interesting and we want to know a lot more about them, but they don't seem like they're handled particularly well in terms of importance. I found that often the girls are the butt of the joke. For example, like there's many times where they're just put in a situation where it's like they're being sort of objectified by Grapehead, or like I think at one point in season 2 they're all tricked into wearing cheerleading outfits, so it's like it can be kind of like a haha that's not a big deal thing, but sort of hand in hand with the fact that they're not really utilized well. Like none of the main characters that actually fight and have a key role in the development of Deku are women. Like we have Todoroki. Well, in the first 2 seasons, I watched the first 2 seasons, and it is the case. I'm ready for change. Cause
I'd say your rock. Yeah, I'm not gonna say her name right. Floaty girl.
Ochako.
Yeah, Ochako. Floaty girl. I'm just gonna go with Floaty girl. It's easier.
Kirby.
Floaty girl is like a very big part of his motivation at times.
Yeah, no, she's great.
She's the
I think
reason
she's fantastic,
he gets in.
But
She's the only one that really gets any sort of stage, I feel, in the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think it's just frustrating for me. Like, all the pro heroes that we meet that are women are very like, oh, Mount Lady is annoying, and Midnight is very like Midnight. And then there's that other hero that they meet that basically just does PR and tries to get on, like, using like her body to get on like TV. And it's like, I feel like a lot of the female characters are just presented in a very physical way, and it's like, I want to know more about you and see how you function in society outside of that. And I just felt like it's a bit of a crutch when it doesn't need to be, because the female characters are so good. Like Frog Girl, Tsui, I think she's awesome. Or Tsu.
But at the same time, so when we were talking when we weren't supposed to be, and you said you were talking about why didn't they take the credit for killing Stain, because they would have gotten noticed, and that's like all they want to do. Yeah, but such a
Killed
big
him. He's dead.
they murdered him. But like, you want to get noticed. You want to be famous because
and I think it's totally cool to like play on the sexuality of characters and to have women be women. I'm all about all that, but I'm just saying, wouldn't it have been really cool if one of the top 6 battlers in their grade was a girl? All of the top battlers are guys. You've got Todoroki, you've got Bird Guy, you've got Ida.
Choco Bro, please.
Choco Bro.
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
But I'm just saying, like, it's just, it makes it a little thin for me. Like, I don't expect it to be, like, half and half or anything, but it's just, like, it would have been cool if there was one girl that was kind of in the mix in a battle sense. And I thought that was going to be Creation Girl, and her name, I cannot pronounce
Momo.
it. It's like Yuzuru or something.
Momo.
She's an awesome character. A bunch of them are awesome, but it's just like, when it comes to like the key players, it's never a girl, and I don't expect it to always be a girl, but it would be cool if there was one of them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the reason they might have done it that way is because they're all kind of like rivals. They're all, wanting to beat each other.
Yeah, but why can't a girl be in that? Like, come on.
Japan's also, unfortunately, the way shonen works is it's literally like targeted at only boys.
Yeah. Like, I understand it. I just want to like note it, because it's like, oh, that's too bad. That's like a thing.
There's definitely
I feel
good
like it's
ones
missing
out there where. Oh,
So
other grievance I had.
Besides Grapehead and some of the sexism in the show, what is your least favorite part of the show in general?
I'm kind of sad that Deku didn't become a Batman type hero, but that's just me.
In what way?
He gets like a quirk. It would have been way cooler if he was like this unpowered guy who like competes with everyone, but instead of just like getting a superpower, which is really OP because he gets like the strongest hero's power, he like had to like use his brain and stuff instead,
Okay,
which just would have been a better show overall.
No, but like he got the quirk, and it shows that the quirk isn't it. Like the quirk isn't all you need, because he had to work at it to control the quirk, and he still hasn't fully, or at least not where we are.
I didn't know when I came into it like really much about it at all, so I didn't know whether he was going to get a quirk. I sort of thought that he wasn't going to have a quirk, and I was kind of like looking forward to that, but I think the relationship between him and All Might, and All Might's like predicament in having like very limited time in his full form is so interesting. And because Deku has to like figure out how to work his quirk, and it's really not easy, I think that's so interesting that it saved it for me. I was like, okay, I don't need him to be quirkless. Like, this is interesting. What do you think, Tim? What was the worst part for you?
I think honestly, I hate Deku's costume. Like, it is one of the worst things you could wear.
His first costume or his like redone costume?
His
Yeah,
first
there's-
costume is terrible. Like
Yeah,
with the
it's a-
ears.
Mom made it.
Yeah,
But-
I know.
Mom made
Yeah.
it based on his drawing. It's adorable.
Oh, okay.
I love his mom so much. His mom might be the best person in the whole
Breaks
show.
my heart. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Sure,
I want a mom
sentimentality
like her.
A+, but
Actual design Garbo.
exactly. Like, come on.
But
Like,
no,
at least ditch
but-
the ears.
He modeled it
He
after
does, though.
All Might, not knowing what his quirk would be.
Hey, spoilers.
Have y'all seen the meme where it's like Deku bursting into the room to help his mom when he's like a little kid in an All Might onesie? Have y'all seen that?
No.
That's
Well, I
from
guess-
the third season, I think.
But it became a meme though.
But it's from the third season.
Okay, but y'all know the onesie I'm talking about. How he has an All Might
Yeah.
onesie.
I think
I
I've
think
seen
he-
that. I'm watching the third season right now, so I think I've seen that.
I think that should just be his
His costume.
costume. It's just an All Might onesie.
That would be
A little
better.
too on the nose.
Who has
No,
the best
no, no.
costume?
Oh, shoot.
None of them. They're all kind of.
I love Bakugo's grenade arms.
Yeah. Bakugo's costume is awesome.
I hate it because then I'm like, bro, what if he gets in a fight? He cannot swing his arms like he does in the show, but like in real
Take them
life.
off.
But then why have them?
Because you know how his quirk works, right? It's his
They
sweat.
enhance it.
Yeah.
It
also,
stores his
how,
sweat.
Right.
How disgusting is that? That he just has
That's
giant.
explosive sweat. His sweat's nitroglycerin.
Yes,
How
I know,
does
but
he? How does he sweat that much?
Yeah, I was about to
why he
say that's
moves
like
so much all the time.
gallons. That's like gallons coming out of just his forearms. That's gross.
Well, you could probably
I'd be-
like superheat
That's why-
it, and
yeah,
it
it's-
warms up.
I mean, I'd be pretty fucking grumpy too if I sweat gallons.
I think they go over it.
All
I
the
think his
time.
costume's like super warm all the time. Like he's made it of like really thick.
Well,
Clothing.
they
Yeah,
show
probably got like
in,
hand warmers in there or something.
in the anime they show whenever he wanted to use it, a few minutes before it started glowing because it got warm.
Yeah, it would like heat him up.
Yeah, I actually like Ida's costume though.
Yeah.
It's kind
Pretty
of
good,
cool.
even if it's just totally his brother's. He just
I don't know.
completely
I'm
ripped
just
out
it's
his
his
brother.
whole family's. His whole family
It's
has like
just
the
kind
same
of boring
thing.
though. It's just like Robot Man. Like,
Like, hello, I am Night Engine Man.
yeah.
Actually, no, I take back everything. Sue has my favorite costume.
Invisigirl has the best costume. It's
Shut
just gloves and
up.
boots.
No.
Wait, are we only counting the students or are we counting the teachers?
Oh, yeah,
we can
that's a
count the
very-
teachers.
Oh, we're counting the teachers?
I was just
Okay.
thinking students, but you're right.
Well, I'm Major Edgelord, so Eraserhead is best boy.
Oh yeah, it's dope.
If we're going
As
over
you could totally be Eraserhead.
if we're
I
going over
wish.
favorite characters, Eraserhead hands down is my favorite character.
He's
Guys,
awesome.
Can I plug the side story again? He's got
Yeah.
a major role in that. Please go read the side story. Please make it popular enough to get an anime. It's so good.
Dude, I think he has the best fight in the whole show in season 1, Eraserhead.
Which
Season
fight?
one, wait?
The Eraserhead versus like a bajillion villains fight in
Yeah,
season 1.
that was awesome.
That was the best fight. Dude, that was so good.
So good.
I thought he was gonna die when was it Nomu that was crushing him?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Nomu
and
just
his
wrecked
like
her
eyes
shit.
are like exploding or whatever, and he's like bleeding.
Knowing what I know about how the manga industry works, I think the author originally wanted him to die there, but because he was popular and
They kept
Shonen Jump's kind of for a younger audience usually, I think the editor's probably like, no, he's got to live, so just like show him in the hospital afterwards.
I'm glad that he lived though because he's been very interesting going forward
Yeah.
as a teacher.
also super
This
hot.
brings up my frustration with the show, my worst point of the show. And I know why they did this, okay? But my biggest thing is they don't freaking teach them anything. They just throw them into
They don't.
situations and they're just like over
Teach
and
them to learn.
over. Yeah, like to get in, you have to pass this entrance exam by just fighting. And then once you're in, then you're
Yeah.
like, cool.
It's like
maybe
the
they're gonna
ultimate
teach me how to
hands-on
fight.
school.
Yeah, I know they
Uh,
want them to be hands-on, but it seems like they don't ever give them any instruction. They're like, oh, they'll figure it out. But it's like, well, maybe you should give them the basics of like how to infiltrate a building.
Somewhat spoiler.
Just
Somewhat spoiler. An entire part of All Might's arc is the fact that he realizes he's a horrible teacher.
Yeah, but also like
I just think in general that's the whole show is like it's them all being thrown into something and given no pointers and not told anything, and then there'll be conversations that they're having with their teachers, and their teachers will be thinking about the advice that they want to give them, and they don't ever give it to them. They're just like, oh, they're gonna figure this out, and it's like, why do they need to figure it out? Just tell them.
I think it's because
more
that's the way
valuable.
they were taught.
Yeah, if they figure it out, it's more valuable. Also, they all have unique quirks. So, like, the teachers don't know the best way to use their quirks because no one else has their quirk. So I think it's best if they figure it out for themselves.
Listen, I get that, but I just feel like there are actual basics in combat and in all these situations that people should be given instead of go to a school and be thrown into these situations and not told anything ever. Like, that's what it seems like.
I mean, yeah, but
I feel like that only goes so far. It's just pushing it for me.
I think it's valuable for them to figure it out themselves.
They definitely fail the kids at some points, though. Like, the show even makes a point of it.
Yeah.
The teachers realize they failed in teaching them.
Well, also, even Eraserhead says, like, oh, the entrance exam is, like, it's not suitable for all quirks. Like, it's a stupid exam. And, like...
No, I'm just gonna shut up. I guess we're talking about season 2. Never mind. Yeah, what's his face? The guy who controls minds.
Yeah.
Oh, what is his name? He's great.
I really liked his character design. He looks awesome.
Oh, yeah. He was very, like, he seemed a lot like young Eraserhead.
He seemed a lot like what?
Young Eraserhead. Like if Eraserhead when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool to find out everyone's motivation for being a hero. I like that.
I love that your Ruckus is just, I want to make money. It's so realistic.
I love it. I love Ochako so much.
I like how they make a point of like pointing out that that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's okay to want to go into an industry just because it makes you money.
I mean,
there's like so many superheroes.
She's trying to help her mom and dad though, because her mom and dad are struggling.
Yeah, but I think doesn't Deku say it? It's like I think he even says like even if it wasn't just to help your mom or dad, it's like it's an okay reason to go into it.
Yeah, totally. Is she your favorite? Is she best girl in the show? Do you think, Ochako?
Sometimes. I think if you only watched the first season, you'd think that. But like, Sue is also really good.
Yeah, I love Sue.
I have a special place in my heart for headphone jack girl.
Yeah.
Jiro?
Because her style is style is just like 10 out of 10.
I think as far as helpfulness and like essential to the plot, Ochako's best girl. But
it's like best girl is like the girl that you like the best. It doesn't matter plot.
Oh, well then Mina. I love Mina.
Which one's Mina again?
Oh, Mina's
she's the
pink girl. Alien chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the pink one. She's great. She's just fun. She's like one of the bros.
Can't even talk about best ship. Best ship because it doesn't come up till later.
Best ship.
She's part of actual best ship. But
best
spoilers.
Best ship is Eraserhead and All Might. We all know it.
Erasers with Midnight.
Ooh. No.
Not actually.
I hate that. What about
spoilers for the side story that none of you are gonna read.
I like that
she's the reason he becomes a teacher.
Huh?
I like that Weeb just rejected that. He's like, no. How about this instead? Who is best boy? And I'm gonna answer it for you. It's Todoroki, hands down.
You just cut out one.
All I heard is it's hands down.
No, it's Todoroki.
Yeah, it's facepalm.
Todoroki?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Worst
He's
choice.
so interesting.
Okay.
I hate him. his my daddy problems are boring to me.
But his
Okay.
quirk is so interesting, and he's interesting. He's not like,
This
I
is-
don't know. I like him.
This is
In
gonna
season
piss
1, I
all
like
of you
him.
off that haven't seen season 3. I think just Shawna.
Oh no, don't say it. No,
Best
don't do it.
boy. Bakugo. I love him.
Ugh.
No,
He's
no.
such a jerk. He's actually
him-
a psychopath.
You don't know why. End of season 3 Bakugo
Okay.
is the best. Oh
Listen,
my gosh.
I have not figured out why he's a psychopath
pre third
yet.
season Bakugo is unbearable.
Yes.
Post third season, he's an actual decent rival.
Okay, cool.
I love
So that's all we'll
Bakugo.
say.
Okay, I'll shut up. I love
Yeah,
Bakugo.
we won't talk about third season.
But
we
we
won't
can't-
go there.
We can't all just sit here like shitting on Bakugo because that hurts
I
my soul. He's the
I still love
best.
Chocobro, but again, I'm an edgelord, so you know.
If we're sticking to season 1 and 2, I'm gonna say Deku is best boy and be basic. But
Well, he is like one of the most interesting guys in the show, for sure.
And he's
I
the
just-
protagonist.
Or All Might, honestly, All
Daddy
Might
All
is
Might,
so awesome.
yeah.
All Might's cool. No, but the first season when he was sitting in front of the computer and he's watching All Might and he's like, when I get my quirk, I'm gonna be just like him. And then like when they cut back to that same thing, but he's sobbing and he's like, why can't I do that?
I
That
know.
got me like
I know.
hard. So
It's so
yeah.
awful.
I don't know why that I loved it, but in like a sad way.
So Tim, your guy is naval layer guy, blah, blah, blah. Naval laser guy, right? That's your favorite guy?
Him or Mineta.
No, no. Can we
Grape
kick
head?
Tim? Can we kick Tim? You like the worst two characters. What?
Also,
Make a
also
good joke.
best ship. Best ship. Mineta and naval guy.
Leave immediately. Never come back here. No.
I would like to see them
Why?
combine their powers. Actually,
You want to see them combine them? What would that look like? Just stick a guy to a wall and then shoot a laser at him?
no,
Yeah,
just like
what-
like throw the balls at his laser and then shoot it out or something. I don't know.
I
Think he can shine the balls so they're reflective surfaces?
Maybe.
wait. Okay, I want to hear your reasoning, Tim. Why do you like Mineta and Naval Laser Guy?
Well, Naval Laser Guy is hilarious, but continue.
And yeah, he's fabulous. And Mineta, I like purple, and he is very purple.
You know, grape drink's your favorite drink, so it's just like...
Tim's a
Exactly.
simple man.
No, honestly, I like Midoriya. I just think his character is really interesting. Like, yeah, obviously he's the protagonist and he gets the most screen time, but I don't know. I like his personality, his motives, I guess, and like where he starts and then where he ends up. But
And he seems really like fresh, even though we've seen incarnations of his character so many times. And I think it is because
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
see
he's-
him broken
he's
down to
literally
his base.
Naruto.
Because he was so upset and like broken down when we meet him. Like, there's just something special about that.
Emotionally
he
vulnerable.
he reminds me of Hinata from Haikyuu. Like he's driven,
Yeah.
but he's not like a jerk about it. Like he wants to be the best, but he's not like I'm going to take down anybody in my way to do it.
Yeah.
He's not Bakugo.
Right, or like Naruto, Sasuke, any of those people.
Yeah.
Can we just scrap this whole thing and start talking about Haikyuu real quick?
I haven't watched Haiku yet, so
Oh my
maybe for
goodness.
So
episode
good.
2.
Finish
You do
season
that for
1
episode
on
2.
season 2.
Okay, we'll do that later.
I'm gonna bring it back to what do you guys like? What do you think about the art? Is there any weak point in the art or any strong point in the art that you think of immediately when you think of the art of My Hero Academia?
The
I
fact
am-
that All Might is in a completely different art style then just shows how much further ahead he is than everyone.
Literally, yes. I am not a huge fan of the art style at all.
Really?
But it's based on American comics.
I
I-
don't. Here's what I don't like. I don't like the art style where like imagine like the side profile of the face, and then like it's flat for the eyes, the nose comes out, and it's just flat for the nose and the mouth. Like that kind of thing. I hate it.
I don't, but thank you for explaining.
Hold on. I'm putting it in the chat. This is not going to work
Okay.
for a podcast.
I feel like my only qualm with the art, like it's a very shonen art kind of show, which I'm totally fine with. My only qualm is I think that All Might's, sorry, Shiro's making a lot of noise. I think that All Might's character design when he's the lesser version of himself is literally insane. And I'm between kind of liking it and then just being jarred every time I look at him.
That's the point of All Might. He's supposed to jar you.
I know, but it's just like you look at him next to Deku and you're like, okay, one's a human being, the other one's like all 90-degree angles.
It's like, yeah.
I actually
I'm gonna
like.
die on this. I'm gonna die on the fact that All Might's drawn as if he's from a
No,
American cartoon on purpose.
I agree. Like, I like the art style and the differences. Like, I just think like the artists embrace the absurdity of it. Like, because it's a show about a society that has superheroes and like everyone has quirks and these weird abilities. Like, it's kind of like how Attack on Titan, like the Titans are all drawn to be like super creepy looking and just strange. Like, I don't know. I like the kind of like the ununiformity, I guess, of it.
Oh, that brings me,
Mixed styles.
I want to bring up another thing in regards to that. Do you think that there's like a lot more bullying for people that have quirks that make them look less like people? Because you know how some of them are like, there's the bird guy, and then there's all these different quirks that make you less human.
At least at this point in the universe, it seems like that isn't existent. But I'm sure like earlier on it was a thing. So if they ever do like more prequels.
Well, I just feel like when you're little kids and everyone like looks more or less the same, but then you have someone in your class who's a cat person, like that's got to affect a little kid, you know?
Well, how like
That police officer is best police officer.
do they say
What?
like the timeline for like when somebody first got a quirk to like now in the show?
Well,
I think
we know
they are the 4th generation from the doctor scene.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
been several generations, or a handful at least, but I just don't think that I don't know. I just think that would be a factor, and it just doesn't seem to be a factor in the universe.
Well, it's been like
Like they don't acknowledge
7 or
it.
8 generations now, right?
Yeah.
Because remember when in the tournament arc, when Deku saw all the people that had One for All before him, it was a bunch of people.
Yeah, there was like, he's the 9th holder of his power.
Yeah, so it's been going, like, quirks have been going on for a while.
I know, but still, most people remain mostly humanoid. So it's only the occasional one that has animalistic features, and that's got to affect you when you're a kid and you're the only one who looks different.
Well, I want to know, so they say that your quirk doesn't manifest until you're like 12. So are you born like normal?
No, they
and
said
then when
4.
No, 4.
Oh,
when you're
4.
4.
Sorry, I thought it was 12. Okay, but are you born like normal and then like you turn 4 and you wake up and you're a bird? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I think
Where your
it's-
parents are both people with bird quirks, and then you wake up like you're born a human.
I think it's just like by
Yeah.
4 you should know
Oh.
if you have a quirk or not. Like it should be obvious.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have it or you don't show anything, it's like you're not gonna have a quirk.
How often do you think in this universe that's like how cheating is figured out? Like you and your wife have a kid, and then your kid gets to be a bit older, and you realize he has the same quirk as your neighbor, and it's like,
Probably a thing. Yeah.
something's going on.
I'm looking at my notes to see if there's anything else I can bring up.
Wait, do you see the picture I put in the Discord?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking at it's a side
I
profile.
I do not like that the side profile. I don't like how the nose and the mouth
Yeah.
are just flat.
Well,
It
I guess
bothers me.
like if we're talking about the animation, we could talk about like the character designs. Like, what did you think about that?
The
Like all the character
design?
designs.
I like the character designs for the most part. Like I said, the only thing that jars me is All Might's design when he's his lesser self. But it's intentional. Like it's
A
so
deflated
intentional.
self.
Yeah, but it pulls me out of the moment sometimes because I'm like, you don't look like a human in this world. Like you're so reduced to angles.
You know
I
who's
don't know.
actual best boy that I totally forgot about? The principal.
Oh, you like the principal?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
what's his name? I love him.
I don't think Mr. Principal is what everyone calls him.
Really? I
I
hate
think his
that.
actual name is Nezu,
Yeah, it
That's
sounds
what
like
the
right.
wiki
Yeah,
says.
yeah.
but everyone calls him Mr. Principal.
Wait, do
Mr.
y'all know his
Mouse.
quirk yet? Do they announce his quirk in season 2 or season 3?
Season 2.
Okay. So
We are talking about season 2, so
do all animals have quirks as well?
Well, that's another
No.
thing. Like,
So
is
can you
he-
just have like a goldfish with laser eyes? Like
he is the extremely rare case of an animal who manifested a quirk. The very first sentence on his Wikipedia page.
Okay, got it.
Wasn't
got it.
he
So
like
animals don't have
experimented on
quirks.
though?
Yes.
I think something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's why he like tries to. Yeah, that's why he's so upset in the exam when he's like trying to murder children, like straight up murdering people.
What did
Nobody
you guys...
dies in this show. What are you talking
Everyone's
about?
safe. It's fine.
That's true.
What did
Nobody
you guys
ever
think?
dies.
What did you guys think about I guess the overall progression of the show from season 1 to season 2 and the arcs they chose to do? Were they satisfying to you? And I guess particularly like a battle context, like did you like how they got characters into predicaments and how they actually had battles happen? Like, did you enjoy that?
Feel in the anime, I don't know if it's just like the way how like translating from paper to animation works, but a lot of like the non-Deku fights seemed a lot shorter in the anime compared to like the ratio to how long they were in the manga. I guess that's them just not fleshing it out as much.
Yeah, that makes sense. I liked how they how everything's always an event. Like, it's an event for them to get into the school, and then it's an event at the sports festival, and then it's an event at like the training camp. So everything always feels like something really cool is happening, and I think that that's just really good writing to
Yeah.
always make everything feel like that. It's a little bit, it pulls it out of reality a bit, but that's fine because it's just really cool.
Well, you know what pulls it out of reality for me is that everyone has superpowers and looks like an alien. That kind of that's what does it for me. I'm cool with the events. I'm cool if they want to have a show. It's when a 12-year-old is like breaking concrete with his pinky finger. That kind of takes it out of reality for me.
Oh, I guess we should have a. This would be only for this series, but who has best quirk?
Oh, Todoroki, hands down.
Well, he was bred for it. That doesn't count.
Yes, it does. He has 2 quirks. He hands down has best quirk.
Yeah,
But you know, never mind. I'm gonna shut
No
up.
contest.
listen, manga man.
It's actually Deku because like
Actually, Mineta, because he has those amazing, useful balls on his head.
Stupid
No.
what about Mineta's balls?
I know, I'm gonna let you take this section. The opening and ending themes. What did you think about them for season 1?
I don't like season 1's opening.
Why?
It's not hype enough. It's too slow. It's a very safe opening. They did a very
Okay.
safe opening for the first season, and I'm not cool with that. E-Sign was much
See, this
better.
is like. I can tell this is the difference between someone who's seen a lot of anime and someone who hasn't. Because for me, it was pretty cool. And I think that's
I'm-
probably just because I haven't seen as much. So I don't have anything to compare it to.
I'm like kind of between you guys. I've seen a lot, but I don't ever really care too much about the opening or ending themes very much. I think this is very much Az's territory. You seem like you always really pay attention and care and notice things. And I'm just like, skip next episode.
know what series has the best opening?
What?
Erased.
Is it Haikyuu?
It's Erased.
Erased? I haven't seen
Because
Yeah.
there's a
Erased.
very specific episode where the entire opening changes based on the events that happened in the previous
I
episode.
don't know. Season 1
cool.
of Haikyuu, that's pretty good.
Season 3 of Haikyuu is also very good.
Every
and full
single
of
Black Clover
symbolism.
opening, because it's done by the same people who did basically Bleach and Naruto, so they've had like decades of practice.
Okay, the Naruto openings and outros are so good.
Again, they have decades of practice.
Yeah, I know. Naruto ending 15, all-time favorite intro or outro.
Ending 15.
I'm not even
But
kidding. It's so good.
Have you guys heard of Haikyuu?
Exactly.
What
No,
is
I've
that?
never heard about.
Please explain to me, and how does it
Explain?
relate to my
Yeah,
hero?
Shawna, please tell me about Haikyuu.
Well, you see the
Is this the
volleyballs
basketball
that
show
they
where they
hit
have
are like
superpowers?
Mineto's balls on his head.
You gotta stop
We also wanna hit.
Just saying, that's the similarity.
Yeah, we
I
wanna hit them.
love Haikyuu so much. Anyway,
Okay,
all right.
reel it in. Reel it in.
Reel it
We
in.
gotta
All right,
talk-
everybody.
Okay.
This
Next
is a very
episode.
serious section that we're about to have. This is a very important section. I take this incredibly seriously. This is the out of 10 review. What is your rating out of 10 for My Hero Academia season 1 and 2?
That's tough.
Oh, I
Now,
can't lump
this-
them together. They got to be separate.
This is based on a scale where 5 is completely average.
5 is the average? Okay, that makes sense.
5 is average, 4 is bad, 6 is fine, 7 is good, 8 is very good, 9 is excellent, and 10 is masterpiece.
I might have to. I'll give first season a 7, second season an 8.
I think I agree with that. I wanted to give the first season a 7.5, but they won't let you give half points on my anime list, so I caved and gave it an 8 just because it is compelling. So I was like, I think I'll give it an 8 over a 7, but I really wanted to give it a 7.5, but agreed, I think season 2 picks it up.
Yeah, I think I gave the same. I would give it an 8, just because I think in terms of like introducing this new world that we're going into, I thought they did a good job, and all these different characters, setting them up, making you want to care about them for the future seasons.
Yeah, I think the strongest point of the show for me that factors in most heavily to what I rate it is the relationship between All Might and Deku, and just how layered and interesting that is and how compelling that is. That's what makes me put it up to an 8. Because I feel like All Might, even All Might's voice work is so good. Like the layer,
I love
layers of his voice work.
Laughing,
They-
his laugh is amazing.
Well, do y'all remember in season 2, he's talking to Deku in his like deflated form, and he slowly builds up to his like full-on form, and his voice gradually changes with him.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
really
It's so
cool.
good. Like,
Yeah.
and like when you see him, like in his different forms, and then when you see him when he's like nervous or talking with like someone and being insecure about like not being a good teacher, like how different his voice is and how much that adds to him as a character. Like, I don't know, I just think that dynamic and the dynamic between him and Deku in general is what made the show really stand out for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Wait, so what do you rate it on a 1 to 10?
Oh, I'm actually, you know how I was like, I think they're two different ones. I think I'll rate both of them an 8, actually.
Both
yeah.
of them an 8?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm very biased, though. Like, I was waiting for this anime, like, the moment it was announced. Because I had been reading the manga for so long. Like, it was one of my top manga. It still is one of my top manga. It
Is it?
literally
Get
just
as
keeps
you
getting
like
better.
to read.
It's so good, guys. I don't know how to make this more clear. It's so good.
Okay, but how's the voice work in the manga?
Voice work. Dude.
They all sound like
Imagine
ass.
every character is You've listened to my D&D campaign, right?
Exactly.
It's like that.
I tuned in for a bit yesterday to your D&D. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right, reeling it back in.
Reeling it back.
Okay.
I have
So
a
we're
question.
all-
Also, okay, what's your question?
Okay, because since I'm new to anime, I haven't seen a lot of the different genres. So this is like, I guess you consider it a shonen in general, but like in terms of like superheroes, like is there any other kind of anime shows that do anything with that?
Not that I've seen.
Most shonens are super powered, so
I guess
But-
like
Kinda-
superhero specific, because they're like, in this show, they're
Yeah.
specifically superheroes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think there is too much really, because
Yeah,
usually they go with like special powers and they try to kind of carve out their own niche and their own tone and feeling.
Yeah,
this is very much.
They normally have like powers, but they're not like superheroes. It's just a different kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
There's Samurai Flamenco. That's a superhero.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't seen that.
That's a little bit more seinen.
Seinen?
Yeah, sure. Is that how you say it?
I think so.
I told you guys, I can't pronounce things. I warned everyone. Oh, Gatchaman's sort of.
All right, nerds. We've pretty much covered similar show recommendations. As just mentioned, that this is a very stereotypical battle shonen, but as we also mentioned at the beginning, it's kind of an exemplary.
It's the first good, super good thing since the big three.
Yeah, it's a very good example of a battle shonen. So there's a bunch more that we could recommend. Do you guys have one that you would pick if someone's like, oh, I want to watch another like shonen, like My Hero Academia? What would you say?
You're saying like My Hero?
Another shonen that's good like My Hero is.
Oh, that's just good like it? I would say Haikyuu. But if you want something just like My Hero, I would say you should watch Naruto.
Yeah, the first season of Naruto, maybe like up till the Sasuke retrieval arc is like good, and then maybe once you hit Shippuden, like look up a list of the episodes you need to avoid.
Okay, as I thought
no,
we were friends.
We're not getting into Naruto stuff. No,
we can do a whole nother podcast on that another day.
We could do an entire podcast series on just Naruto.
We can do 3 podcasts on Naruto, probably 4.
All right, Tim, I think you've got something special for us. Do you have a weeb word of the day?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Okay.
My weeb word of the day is Shine, spelled Shine, at least in English, which basically means die. And we hear that in My Hero from Bakugo, all the time.
All the time.
Exactly.
He literally tells Deku to die constantly. So
he tells everyone to die.
Yeah, he does.
It's his way of showing love.
It's a good word to know. And that is Tim's wee word of the day.
Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
If anyone out there makes music, why don't you submit a little tune for Tim's wee word of the day?
Also submit tunes for our beginning and ending. That would be fun.
Yeah, and if you think our name's bad, please add us at failedsquared@nanoland.ca.
That's not a real address.
I'm gonna make it a real. I probably won't.
Someone's getting all these emails.
This is probably going on SoundCloud, which I think you can comment on. So
we need a PO box. Let's just get a PO box.
Yeah, we'll get a PO box.
But yes, comment on this episode with what shows you want us to review.
Yes, do that, please.
And I think that pretty much does it. Are we gonna be doing this weekly? Is that our goal?
That'd be nice.
Trying weekly? Yeah.
I'm down for weekly, yeah.
So we have to watch all of Naruto by next week?
Yes.
Sure, done.
I'm done.
Not
no,
happening.
you have to watch it
Good
again.
luck, guys.
Wait, Tim, have you seen Naruto?
I've seen almost all of the first show. But I haven't even touched Shippuden.
I haven't seen any of it.
Shawna.
We'll cover up to the Sasuke retrieval arc.
Hey, that's where I am. You know what? I don't have to go any further. I can just look back.
There you go.
Do that.
Okay, well, you heard it, everyone. Watch all of Naruto for the next episode. See you later.
This is a joke. This is a joke.
Bye.
Bye.
Toodaloo.
We did it.